Today I'll tell you about 300 teenagers who abandoned their retreat and walked for miles through rain and mud, all to find the one person who had changed their lives forever. Their story reveals something powerful about the kind of impact that you can have when you love genuinely. The Miracles and Prophecies of St. Don Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Welcome to the Miracles and Prophecies of St. Don Bosco. I'm Adrian Fonseca. These videos exist to share timeless wisdom from St. Don Bosco that can transform your spiritual life and inspire you to grow closer to Christ and Our Lady. Today, you'll discover how authentic faith creates a magnetic pull that draws people from incredible distances. And more importantly, you'll see how you can develop that same inspiring presence in your own life. 300 boys decided their spiritual father was worth any sacrifice, even getting completely lost in the Italian countryside. Their dedication will challenge you to think about your own relationships. Who in your life has influenced you so profoundly that you go to extraordinary lengths just to be in their presence? And more importantly, are you becoming that kind of person to others? Every year, the boys at Don Bosco's oratory looked forward to their spiritual retreat. But one particular year didn't go quite as planned. About 400 boys had been waiting all morning for Don Bosco to arrive at their retreat. But he hadn't shown up yet. By lunchtime, their patience had run out. So what did they do? Over 300 of them made a decision that would shock any parent today. They left their retreat and set out to find him. They walked toward Valdoco, where Don Bosco could usually be found. And when they couldn't find him there, someone told them that he was at Sasi, a small parish outside the city. Now remember, this was before smartphones, GPS, Google Maps, or even MapQuest. When these boys didn't know the way, they just kept walking, occasionally asking bypassers, "Where is Don Bosco? And where is Sasi?" People told them that they were headed in the wrong direction, but they didn't seem to care. They walked through fields, vineyards, and even across the Po River, completely unaware of how far they'd gone. You're probably thinking what I thought. These boys are determined, but they're also completely lost. And that's exactly what happened. But they pressed on, lost, exhausted, and drenched from rain, until they finally reached the parish in Sasi. They were weary, starving, and desperately in need of rest. When Don Bosco saw the crowd of 300 boys arrive, he was deeply moved. And despite his own exhaustion, he greeted them with the same love and compassion that he always showed. But here's the thing. These boys hadn't just come for a visit. They traveled all this way to confess their sins, and they were determined to receive the sacrament from him personally. One Don Bosco, 300 boys. You can imagine the challenge. So what did Don Bosco do? He had his fellow priests start hearing confessions, and these weren't quick 5-minute confessions either. Many of these young men were making general confessions that could take quite a long time. But there was still one major problem. Like the crowds who followed Jesus in the desert, these boys had left Turin focused only on finding Don Bosco. They departed without food, thinking that they'd be back by lunchtime. They'd walked for miles through rain on empty stomachs. These boys were starving. Seeing the situation, Don Bosco's host at the parish quickly took action. He offered bread, polenta, beans, rice, potatoes, fruit, and cheese, and basically anything edible that he had in his home. When this ran out, this generous host borrowed from their neighbors, and not a single child went hungry that day. The host's kindness was a testament to the generosity that Don Bosco inspired in others. The boys in this story found someone worth following completely. They discovered a community where their souls could grow and thrive. You can experience that same sense of community and purpose by becoming a monthly promoter of St. Don Bosco. When you join our family, you become part of something bigger, a mission to spread that same faith, hope, and charity that drew 300 boys through the Italian countryside. As a monthly promoter, you'll receive daily masses and daily rosaries prayed for you and your intentions, plus beautiful spiritual resources to deepen your own faith. You'll be supporting videos just like this one that inspire others to live their faith more authentically. Just like Don Bosco's host, who shared everything he had, you can share in spreading this incredible legacy. Click the link in the description box down below to join our community of monthly promoters and become part of this inspiring mission. Now, the boys in today's story weren't roaming through Turin because they were bored or trying to cause trouble. They wanted to be closer to God, to receive the grace of confession and communion. Don Bosco had earned their trust, and his ability to guide them spiritually was unmatched. The effort they made to find him, the distance they traveled, and the sacrifices they endured demonstrated their love and respect for him. I think this is our key takeaway. At the heart of Don Bosco's mission was his belief that Our Lady had called him to save the souls of this ragtag group of boys, and it was his duty to guide them. He dedicated everything he had, his time, his energy, his very life, to leading young people to Christ in the sacraments of the Catholic Church. Following his example, may we all embrace our missions as Catholics to bring others to the Catholic Church, especially the young people in our lives, by living an exemplary life through Our Lady's grace and inspiring others to do the same. So tell me in the comments, who has influenced your faith journey the most? And how are you paying that influence forward to others? And if this story inspired you, you'll love Don Bosco's Guide to Confession, life-changing advice from a saint. Since today's story was all about 300 boys who traveled miles just to receive the sacrament of confession, you'll discover why he considered confession essential nourishment for the soul, and get his practical advice for making this sacrament a transformative part of your own life. Click on the link on your screen right now. Thank you for joining me today. St. John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.